Nikki?
Nikki is going through something.
Obsession tells the story of a guy named Bear that is very passive. He just has no confidence. He can't tell the girl that he likes her. And it's like his best friend at work. And she's like giving him all these little chances in the beginning. And he just doesn't take it until he decides to make a wish with a wish willow.
I wish Nikki Freeman loved me more than anyone in the entire world.
Please help me out with a like, subscribe, hit the little bell on the side. No spoilers going forward. So Curry Baker crafts this world that feels real, it feels lived in. These characters, feels like you're hanging out with them, and you kind of wish that you had like another movie you're hanging out with again, because like these characters feel like a real group of friends that just feel kind of fun. Everyone's different. Cooper, who is like the second half of Curry, that's a bad idea, and he plays this guy named Ian that is very like kind of like almost like borderline douchey in a way, but he's like this lovable douche, if that makes sense.
If she means this much to you.
And then you got Sarah, who's more like this artsy kind of type, and maybe she's more along the lines of what Bear should go for.
Weird how you two are dating all of a sudden.
But of course, Bear is going for Nikki, who is like this girl that she's like very like outgoing, but she's also very friendly, very cool to Bear. And you kind of feel like, is there some love there? Is there a chance for Bear? And it's like, maybe if Bear just mustered up the courage to tell her he was into her, maybe she'd be into it.
You're the only person I get to really talk to.
Indy Navarrete steals the show. It's like, I could not imagine anyone else playing this character, but the way she plays it, it's like she has that perfect level of like lovability, but also like creepiness at times, where she can flip it on a dime. It's like instantly like she goes from like acting a certain way, like very creepy, and Bear's freaking out, and then all of a sudden she's like, okay. And then just acts normal and just like cuddles up next to him, whatever, and Bear's just like traumatized looking. I love you! And once he makes this wish with the wish willow, I wouldn't say instantly it gets crazy, because it is very much a slow burn. As I mentioned in my out of theater reaction, I expect it to be a little crazier. This is more of a slow burn here, and more of a slow burn than I even anticipated. I figured like, all right, maybe the beginning, maybe the first half, but like no, it's kind of the whole movie. Maybe like the second, maybe like the last like 30 minutes or so like that. That's when it gets kind of like a little bit on the crazier side. And I will say that as much as I love the characters, I thought the lighting here was great. The shots were cool. A lot of silhouetted shots where you're like, is Nikki looking at him in the background? Is that her in the corner? She's out of focus in the background, and you're like, is she looking this whole time behind these characters that are talking? A lot of different things like that.
You wished for this.
But it's like, outside of that, I did want some more craziness. And yes, when the craziness happens later on, it is a little crazy, but it's like, I guess I heard all these crazy things about it, and so my mind just kind of elevated it before I even watched the whole thing. I was like, I wonder if this happens, I wonder if this happens. The first thing that happens in the movie that gets kind of wild is pretty cool, and it was kind of like, I would say it's akin to maybe something like Terrifier. Going forward after that, just never kind of measured up to that level for me. And there's also a lot of funny moments. I mean, we got the guys from That's a Bad Idea doing this film, so it's like Curry Baker has a lot of humor in here. And speaking of Curry Baker, he has a little voice cameo. So you've seen like a little teaser of this, they released it online, but it's basically like Bear calls the company from the Wish Willow to see if he can reverse the wish, and it's Curry Baker's voice here. And the way Curry plays this is very nonchalant. He's like, just doesn't really care. He's like, oh, do you want to make a cancel request? Like it's just like very like he doesn't really care.
What's up?
Of course, it's not very helpful, but it's a kind of funny scene here. And otherwise, like kind of like creepy movie. And it's kind of funny because each character has different goals, but none of them have the goal of being like doing something in music, and they all work at a music store. So I think it's kind of realistic in a way, because a lot of times you end up at a job that you have no idea how you got there, and you want to be something else. Like Nikki wants to be a writer, right? But it's like, it has little things like that that sets up this realistic world. And because of that, like slow burn feel kind of works. But I will say, like personally, I expected a little more craziness here. I wanted it to get like kind of amp up, just like keep amping up. And I feel like it kind of has like these ebbs and flows. And yes, at the end, it is pretty cool. And I thought it was a very smart ending. Not gonna ruin what happens here, but the way it goes full circle was super smart. And I was like, oh man, I like thought about it like maybe like a few seconds before like it was kind of like shown on screen. I was like, I think this might happen this way, and it did, but that's not ruining anything. It's just like, I thought it was really smart. And I will say the last shot of the film was very cool. Part of the charm is the fact that it was made by Curry, that I think they only had like like $1 million budget, $1.5 million, versus like, you know, films like maybe have like 5 or more millions in the, you know, horror franchises. It's not like it takes away from it, kind of adds to it. Like it feels like kind of like quaint in a way. There's a certain charm to it that I just can't really explain until you watch it. But yeah, the music was kind of cool. It was different than I expected. It was like a little like slower, a little moody vibe to it.
I was calling to see if there's a way I can alter a wish.
Like to cancel your wish.
I think like there was a lot of cool editing choices, and Curry edited himself, which I thought was really cool. It's like you got these little moments in here where it's like she probably walked backwards and they reversed it in post, like stuff like that, where it's like it just felt like a little off on purpose and it just kind of worked. I think that Curry has a bright future going in the horror world. I'm very curious about his Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie and that movie that's like the ghost one he's doing with Cooper. All in all, I'll say that I liked the movie. I borderline liked it a lot. I didn't love it, but I will say as far as other movies this year, they said like the scariest movie of the year and all this stuff. I think this is the best one of that.
I'll see you next time. This has been Seth Vision. Seth Vision out.